The question is this the best budget field watch? Welcome back to Time on the Wrist at Chisholm Hunter. My name is Harrison, as always. And today we're talking about field watches, but specifically we're talking about what I believe to be the best budget field watch. So first things first, what are field watches? What defines and makes a field watch? And it's pretty simple. Field watches used to be supplied to the military. They're military inspired. And because they were supplied to the military, their purpose is to be clear and durable. Tell the time clearly, no unnecessary complications, and to be durable as hell. Survive through the wars genuinely. And that is what makes a field watch. Now, this is actually a personal one to me because, well, listen, I'm not in the military. I've never been in the military, but I do. Sorry. As I was saying, I do a lot of climbing, I do a lot of hiking, I do a lot of outdoor activities, so I need a durable watch that I don't worry about, but it can still tell the time clearly. And this is where field watches come into play. And this is where, specifically, the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical comes into play. This specific Hamilton Khaki Field comes in at 38mm in diameter. And although that is small, although that is dainty, it doesn't affect the readability of this watch. It remains extremely readable and clear. And actually, having owned the black dial version, I would genuinely say that the white dial is clearer to read than the black. And that's why I'm giving you the option. This is why I'm suggesting that this could be the best field watch for the money. When you invest in a field watch, it's important that it sits closely to your wrist, that it is a slim model, and this is because if you trip or if you fall and bash your wrist or watch off of something, it will be less likely to break, less likely to get damaged. So the closer to your wrist it can sit as a kind of field military inspired watch, the better. Now this comes in at roughly, according to our digital calipers, 9.5 to 9.6 millimeters in thickness. So it is a very slim watch that sits closely to your wrist, which is brilliant. And that brings me nicely on to the weight of this watch. As a field watch, as a military watch, as an outdoors active, lifestyle-y kind of watch, you want it to be very light. You want it to be durable, but mostly you want to put it on your wrist and kind of forget that it's there. On that note, this watch comes in at 59 grams, so it is extremely light, and honestly, when you put this on your wrist, you kind of forget that it's there. I have to say that because it's true. Now, it has a NATO strap, and yes, these are better for if you're doing outdoor activities, because if you had a bracelet, you might scratch the bracelet, and if you have a leather strap, you might start fraying that leather, and it might rub off of your wrist a little bit more corrosively than a NATO strap would. So whenever I'm getting an outdoors watch, for example, my Omega Seamaster is my outdoors watch at the moment, I would wear that NATO strap. And yes, before you guys say, I know that a NATO strap on an Omega Seamaster doesn't make it an outdoors watch, but I just like the style aspect. On that note, you might notice that I've got bare wrists today. Some would say I'm naked. And yes, I am naked because I forgot to pick up my watch this morning, was meant to wear my Tissot. On that note, it's time for the wrist check. What is on your wrist today? Are you naked? Are you like me? Do you feel weird? Let me know in the comments. One thing that I did notice quite quickly though, one thing that they've done that I'm not as sure of is used a double pass NATO strap. Now this wraps around the bottom of the watch twice, and that makes it sit a little bit higher off the wrist than it normally would, coming from a 9.5 millimeter thick watch. So with that NATO strap, it comes in at around 11.5 millimeters off the wrist, so it does wear a little bit bigger than you would expect. The case of this watch comes in stainless steel. Now this stainless steel is kind of done in a sand-blasted texture. It's actually really, really nice. Now the design is very minimalistic. There's no glossy finish. There's no polished edges to this model down the lugs, which you might see in other models. It's very much sandblasted. It's very much there to be durable and serve a purpose. Now the reason I actually like this is because this is the sort of watch that you will get damaged. You will get scratched. And if you have a polished steel watch, the scratches will show up so much more than they would on the brushed or the sand-blasted steel. And your eye would be drawn to them so much more. So I think the way that they've used this material here is just it's really nice. The crown is perfectly proportioned. It is absolutely brilliant, and it has that iconic Hamilton logo on the outer surface. And the teeth they're brilliant. They're very grippy. They're easy to turn. And I think that is just what this watch is at its core. It's easy. It's subtle. It doesn't shout at people. It's just, I'm a fan of I just like Hamilton watches. The numerals on this watch are big and bold, and the face is extremely bright and contrasting with those numerals, making it extremely readable. The face, of course, comes in white. Now, I would have liked to see that white material maybe in a sandblasted texture, but remember, you're only paying a small-ish amount for this watch. Now, the numerals are in black print, and that contrasts wonderfully with, of course, that white dial. And the indices, or some of the indices, the sort of 12, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth indices, and the fill to the minute and hour hand are in a kind of tanned beige colour that makes it look that little bit more vintage, and also, I would say, makes it look that little bit more military inspired. The movement on this model is fully mechanical, and it's important to say that because that could be perceived as positive or negative. But it's important when we talk about movements to have a comparison. So coming in at £610 is the Tissot PRX Powermatic 80 Iced Blue, and we are actually giving this to you guys. This is a giveaway. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel, follow our Instagram Chisholm Hunter watches, and comment with your favorite Tissot model or your favorite watch in general. And that's pretty much all the comparison was. It was a shameless plug, but we're giving it to you. The movement of this model is the H50 movement, and this is fully mechanical, and it has an 80-hour power reserve. I'm going to repeat that because that is mental. 80 hours of power. Now, mechanical movements can be seen as a positive or a negative, and I wouldn't view it as either. What I would see it is just as different. You don't say because a car is an automatic car that it's better than a manual. You just say that they're different cars. And actually, to an extent, a manual car is more fun to drive. You have more connection with that car. It's not as seamless, but you crank it through the gears. You have more of a connection, an intimate experience with your car. And it's the same as a watch. If you have an automatic watch on your wrist and you're never winding up because you're always on the move, you don't stop and take the time to appreciate your watch, to appreciate that beating heart in the middle of your watch. Whereas with a mechanical watch, you need to spend that intimate time with it. You need to look at it. You need to look after it. And I do think that that's quite nice. And having that structure in place, especially when you're up in the hills or doing a hike or whatever it is quite nice. This model also comes in at 50 meters of water resistance and has sapphire crystal glass, which is of course sort of durable to scratches. A lot more durable than, let's say, Hesalite that's used on the original Moonwatch. That's a lot softer. Sapphire crystal glass is the GOAT. It's what everybody uses now, and it's pretty standard in the watch industry. This watch comes in at £530, which, yes, is expensive, but let's hear me out for a second. Let's look at the upper end of the field watch kind of scene. You've got the Tudor Ranger, comes in at about £2,500, £2,600, and yes, it's better built. It is a more expensive watch because it's a better product. I'm not arguing that, but would you ever take a Tudor Ranger up a hill with you? Would you ever take it hiking with you? Would you ever take it climbing with you? No, because you'd be afraid to damage it. You'd be afraid to scratch it. You would be afraid to wear it in those scenarios. So in my head, it's no longer a field watch, it's more of a statement in style. Whereas this Hamilton Khaki Field is functional. You don't worry about it. You put it on your wrist and know that it will serve a job, do it well, and not break. So, in my opinion, this is the best field watch that you can buy for the money. Now, obviously, on the Chisholm Hunter website, you can get a 10% exclusive discount code, which is applicable to this product, and it's CHSUB, that is CHSUB. Now, this 10% discount code will bring it below £500, which makes it an even better deal. Shameless plug right here. But my point of the matter is that this is, in my opinion, the best field watch for the money. And my field watch is currently broken. I'm looking for another one. This could be the one. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching the Chisholm Hunter channel. My name is Harrison, as always, and if you could please hit that subscribe button to help us reach our goal of 50k, we would really appreciate it. Remember, the bigger the subscribers get, the bigger the giveaways get, the bigger the watches get, the more that this community can grow, and this is all because of you guys. Thank you so much. Also, we've got a new studio set up. We've got new mics, got a new camera, lots of stuff.